Have y'all heard about the cavern located in Riverton, West Virginia, called Seneca Cavern? Well, it's supposed to be haunted, and I can't wait to tell you the story. But don't get it twisted because there's another cavern in Ohio called the same thing, but this one's not that place. I've also done some research on this cavern and realized that there is different information from different sources, and they all don't add up. It's not the same information, but I'm going to go ahead and share that with y'all. One's from Wikipedia and one's from a tour guide, and you put it in the middle, we'll find the truth. They said, yeah, I hope. Wikipedia states in the 1770s, a man named Peter Dieter, he was a German American, had bought the land surrounding the cavern, but allegedly they don't think that he ever walked into the cavern, and if he did, he just used it for his livestock to have water. The first technically written statement of somebody actually being in this cave was in 1781 by a Reverend Francis Asbury. Apparently, Philip Dieter changed his name at one point and became a Teeter, or it was passed on to his family, but the family originally owned the land from the 1770s to 1928. And in 1928, the Harmon family bought it and started making it more into a tourism destination, which allegedly opened in 1930. And I say allegedly because this is Wikipedia, and I'm about to give you the information from the tour guide. And in 1984, it changed hands again to a Gruger limestone. Now, here's where the plot twists. A tour guide that used to give the tours there in the 1990s states that in the late 1600s, the caverns were discovered by Europeans. That makes sense. Cavern was also originally lived in by the Seneca tribe, which means they originally discovered the cavern. But whatever. Now, the Seneca tribe used this cavern as a winter homestead, and they would stay all winter in there, and then when it warmed up outside, because God knows West Virginia winters are cold and snowy, then they would go out into the Germany Valley and use the rest of the time for hunting. During the winter months, the shaman would have giant meetings in the council room and perform spiritual rituals and so on and so forth. And that room is now smoky from all the fires and ceremonies that were had in there. And you can still see the smoked out room to this day. That's also where a hot spot of paranormal activity is. Now, during the Civil War, it was used by both the Union and the Confederates as a supplies location. And that's generally because it keeps the same amount of temperature all year round, and that's generally in the 50s. The tour guide did mention that the place originally opened in the 20s and not the 30s, but that's Wikipedia and a tour guide, so like I said, tomatoes, it's opened. Now, some of the paranormal activity that happens in this cave is what they call ghost tours, and that is when maintenance workers or staff members are in there and they're cleaning up or, running lines or whatever they're doing in there, maintenance work. They will hear a large group coming right towards them. Now, it gets right up on them, and they'll move out of the way for that tour to pass them, and they never come. And the voices and all the loud talking just stops. Now, you might say this is an echo, but it's not. This happens when one or two people are in the cavern, and there's no explanation to why there is a tour going through there. I've got one, though. I think it's called limestone. And limestone, which is all up in this cave, holds energy, and I think that's probably residual. Just my opinion. Tour guides and eyewitnesses have reported seeing a dark figure of a man standing at the top of the stairs, and that's generally whenever the staff is sweeping from the last tour or the last tour is going up. Sometimes they spot a man at the top of the stairs. There's been voices heard other than the tours, but they usually in this area feel like somebody is right behind them, and they will hear the footsteps of someone walk slap up behind them. They'll turn around and nobody will be there, and they just feel like they're constantly being watched in this area. Now, one of the coolest stories happened on a tour, and it seems to continually happen. It wasn't just a one-time incident, but there was a group of people that were on the tour that was coming through from the Devil's Kitchen into the council room. And when they got right down the middle of that hallway, two orbs of light shot out from the council room and was zigzagging through the tourists. People were gasping and they were, oh God, and they stood real still and they watched it happen, and there was multiple witnesses of that, and it said it still happened to this day. Have you ever been to the Seneca Caverns? Have you had an experience in there? Maybe you were a tour guide, worked there, lived there, you did something up in there, and you know something I don't, and I'd love to hear it. If you can clear up the history for me, that would be fantastic, because I want to know the truth. Let me know right there in the comment section, and if you like this video, y'all know what to do. Follow me for more paranormal stories.